There are legends, then there are mythological creatures, and then there's our guest here today. Our guest has developed almost like a Paul Bunyan-esque mythological type of wrestling ability. Sir, if you would, tell us who you are.
John Wolsiefer.
Now, I believe growing up, and I can imagine even to this day, you've probably heard about 25 million different pronunciations of your last name. And everywhere I've been, just about, the people that remember you or requested this video has said something different than what you said. So give us that one more time so everybody can have it for eternity, the correct pronunciation of your name.
It's Wolsiefer.
Wolsiefer.
Yes, sir.
John Wolsiefer. So everybody, you need to remember that. And of course, you're a two-time state champion from Fern Creek High School, 2006, 152 pounds and 160 pounds in 2007. This is your 2007 review video. We'll tell you about the 2006 video just in a second. But Fern Creek has a heck of a tradition. 3-team state championships, 1975, 1984, 2015, and 36 individual state champions. That's tied for 4th place with North Hardin. You account for 2 of those. 3 most outstanding wrestlers, Don Blevins, 1993, Todd King, 1982, and Mark Thomas in 1977. So, John, man, tell us how you got into wrestling. What is the beginnings of your mythological rise to wrestling superstardom?
Really the main thing was probably my dad. My dad, he grew up wrestling in Indiana. He wrestled like elementary, middle, and some high school, and just roughhousing with him and people at the baseball park and stuff. And it just came natural when I started. So,
no, I get it, and there's been several. Like I said, we've been all over the state. We've been from the far end, western part of the state to Christian County, Hopkinsville, all the way to Pike County, to Belfry, doing videos. We've been almost on the Ohio River there in northern Kentucky, all the way down to Wayne County, everywhere in between. And it seems like whether it's in person, social media, at a wrestling meet or whatever, you get brought up. When you going to get John Wolsiefer, Wolsiefer? When you going to get the kid from Fern Creek that won it 06 and 07? And I'm like, just hold on. We just be patient, guys. We've got it coming. So the state tournament run for you as a freshman in 2005, 145 pounds, 4th place. So not bad. I mean, considering you run into Austin Cooper in the 3rd, 4th place match. Austin videos on the channel. And, of course, no shame in losing to Austin. The Cooper family, heck of a tradition there. Simon Kenton, 10 of the 27 Simon Kenton state champions are Coopers. So they're either brothers or cousins. 2006, though, man, you're a sophomore, 152 pounds. We're going to go over your bracket, then we'll tell everybody the story of what we're going to do with your 06 video. First round, you're wrestling Josh Drake from Paul Dunbar. You win that by a fall, 1 minute, 2 seconds. Second round, you're wrestling Taylor Casson from Connor. You win that by an 18-7 decision. The quarters, you're wrestling Shandon Hooper from Seneca out of Louisville. You win that by a 12-2 major decision. The semis, you're wrestling Ryan Ross from Harrison County. You win that by a 10-3 decision. And in the finals, you get the revenge on the Cooper family. You wrestle Josh Cooper from Simon Kenton. You win that by an 8-6 decision. So knowing that you won your semifinals, you're going into the finals for the first time. Kind of walk us through that. What's the mentality?
I had so many nerves just because the atmosphere of that place is so crazy, just the energy. And I was just insanely nervous. And I knew Cooper was going to be tough. I'd never wrestled him before. that was the only time we had ever wrestled. But like you were saying, they come from a long line of wrestlers, and I had wrestled Austin, so I knew he was going to be tough. But I was just super nervous going into that match.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. Like you said, we'll talk more about the atmosphere in your '07 video. But as a sophomore, man, you win it. I mean, you're on the number one spot in the podium. So the 2006 video, you have like a highlight. It's, I would say, probably 80% of the match, maybe a little bit more than 80%, but it's not the complete match. And we want to give you your just due on that. We don't want to, cut up a match if we have to or whatever. So when we find the '06 video, the complete video, which we know it's out there, we just got to find it, we'll meet with you again, do another Zoom, and we'll get your '06 the just due it deserves. But what we're going to do is we're going to insert the '06 video at the end of this video so everybody can see that match as well, or see what we have of it on video. But man, 2007 though is your year, and the year of this video, I should say. Let me correct that. The year of this video. And we like to ask guys that are returning state champions, especially underclassmen, when you go to a gym, because you kind of grow in school when you had MySpace, I believe, MSN Messenger, ICQ, all that was still going on. The internet, message boards were prominent. When you walk into a gym as a junior before you make to the state finals, do people know who you are?
Yeah, I'd say so. It was pretty cool. Yeah.
Kind of the champs in the house, right? The champs in the building. Yeah. Like, I forget who it was. I don't remember. It was somebody. It was a famous like football player, basketball player, something to that effect. It was some athlete. We'll have to go with some athlete. I remember the interview, but the name escapes me. And when Muhammad Ali was alive, this guy was in the same. He didn't know that it was going to be happening, but Muhammad Ali was in the same press box. Like Muhammad Ali come in a wheelchair and all that, and nobody told him. It was kind of like a surprise. You had all these famous, celebrities, athletes, whatever. And in comes Muhammad Ali, and he was like, you could just tell the vibe in the room changed. Like the champ is in the building. You just knew, you could feel whenever Muhammad Ali come into that room, everybody's like, oh my God. And that's kind of, maybe I would say, especially high school age boys, or men, I should say, they don't fanboy over seeing somebody. If anything, they're going to try to be showing less emotions, but they're looking at you. They know you who you are. They know, oh my, John, Fern Creek, man, state champion. And everybody wants to beat the champ. Nobody wants to say they beat the state chump. Everybody wants to say they beat the state champ. So right. Did you feel people that you knew, like watching other matches, maybe weren't the best, but they gave you like 135,000% effort?
Yes, sometimes definitely. I don't know of any like specific people, but yeah, I definitely agree with that. Yeah.
I got you. And a lot of people have said the same thing about, yeah, man, this kid, I knew that he was terrible. We get to the, whatever tournament on this weekend outside the state tournament. We're like, he was doing stuff that, like, he was making up moves. He was making up stuff. He was like, he took a shot of adrenaline before he went out there, because I just couldn't, won 11-4 decision or whatever. Normally right. I could pin him in 30 seconds, but he knows who I was, and he was like, he's not going to pin me. You know what I mean? So you start off your day, or the state tournament in 2007 at 160 pounds. You win an 18-5 major decision over Billy Floyd from Wayne County. Second round, you're wrestling Scott Wheeler from LaRue County. You win that by a squeaker, 7-6. So I got to ask you about that one. Was Scott just up for the challenge?
Scott was a really good wrestler. I knew going into that tournament he was going to be possibly my toughest competition in state. And I'd only wrestled him once before that, and it was my freshman year. And it actually became a real heated match, and I barely pulled it out. And me and him since have became pretty good friends. But Yeah, I knew that was going to be tough, and getting past that quarterfinal match, there was a sigh of relief there because I knew he was pretty tough. So.
Oh yeah, and man, LaRue County, they got a great program as well. They really do. A lot of studs in that come out of LaRue County. Then you move on. You wrestle Corey Ward from Harrison County. You win that by a 13-4 decision. You get to the semis. You're wrestling Ryan Vaughn from Simon Kenton. You win that by a 17-4 decision. And then you get to the finals. You're wrestling a fellow Louisvillian, I guess is the right name, Dakota Choate from PRP. So you got two areas of Louisville battling out. You got Fern Creek and you got PRP. I guess was both of those, that's both on the south end of Louisville, right?
Yeah, they're both in Louisville. Yeah, I think they're both on the south end. Yeah,
that's why I was thinking Fern Creek was more like southeastern and PRP is more like southwestern. So a battle of Louisville, no matter what. And I'd have to imagine you wrestled Dakota a bunch, didn't you?
Oh yeah, that was probably the fourth or fifth time I'd wrestled him that season, and I think he had actually transferred to Kentucky from Indiana. I'm pretty sure that year.
And Dakota goes on in 2008 and wins state championship for PRP. So, heck of a wrestler. So I believe we've talked enough about it. You guys are seeing what we're seeing. We're at the dungeon here in Frankfort. Best atmosphere KHSAA's ever produced. Doesn't matter what sport. Doesn't matter Rupp Arena. Great atmosphere. Not as good as the dungeon. Kroger Field in Lexington for the state football finals. Good atmosphere. Not the dungeon. The football or the Kentucky Proud Park for the baseball, good atmosphere, not the dungeon. It was just something that you had to experience, right, John?
Oh, yeah, it was incredible.
It was just something that you had to be there, and you were glad that you were there. The glow sticks, the beach balls, footballs, toilet paper rolls, whatever wasn't nailed down was probably going to be tossed around by team to team. It doesn't matter what it was. Everybody was tossing something around. So this match, it's going to cut straight in to it as soon as I hit the space bar. Joe Catan's going to blow his whistle, man. Here we go. So you got the black singlet on with the orange stripe down the side. And it looks like your hair is really black. Is your hair naturally that color?
No, it's the only time I've ever dyed my hair in my life. we all dyed our hair black for the tournament.
I got you. There it is. Now look at that right there, man. Pretty good takedown inside trip. That's that 80s era power, if you will, people's compared you with. So pretty good show right out of the gate. He takes injury time, and it's been cut out of the video. So comes back, he's down. Now on top, what was your go-to takedown?
On top, I really like to work the head lever. I will say my earlier years before this, I would wrestle a lot more on top, but I think once I got so good on my feet, I wouldn't spend a ton of time on top. But I really did like to work a head lever, and if I couldn't get the head lever, I'd like to work a lot of tilt series off of that.
I got you. I understand. I understand that. Nice little lift. So kind of trying to work like a little tilt there.
Yeah, a little cheap tilt. Mm-hmm.
And of course, the camera is right in the Fern Creek section. I believe it's your dad filming this, correct?
Yeah, it is.
Johnny Woo. Now, we have the volume turned down so we can talk, but believe me, the volume on the video will just about bust your head. Do you remember hearing the crowd, the noise and everything?
Oh yeah, it was wild. I couldn't hear all the specific people you can in the video because it's so far up in the stands, but
right.
It was loud. Yeah.
Oh, dude. And each little team had their own pocket where they were sitting. Mm-hmm. You knew this was where Woodford County was going to be sitting. You knew this is where Trinity, Johnson Central, you knew all these other, teams were going to have their little like colonies, if you will, like we're
Yeah.
recolonizing America here. So he got the choice, deferred, you took down, and you get up right out of the gate. Was that your move on bottom? Just get up, get
Yeah.
away.
I had a really strong stand up, especially my junior year. Like even when I went out to Fargo, no one was really able to hold me on the mat. So that was
No,
usually
that right there, that's another example of that 1980s era just strength. That was a heck of a lift and return. Got a caution. And this arena, in case you were never there, maybe John's video brought you to the channel. There was no like upper deck, lower deck. It was all like the seats just all kind of funneled down to the mat area. The mat, like the seats were literally, 15, 20 feet away, but it felt like you were right on top of the action. I mean, it felt like you were just like right there if you could build an arena for wrestling, you couldn't build one better than this.
Yeah, I agree.
It wasn't as big as what it should have been to host a state tournament, but just the atmosphere, man, it was hard to move it to the horse park.
The energy was crazy there.
Oh yeah. So you snap him back down right there, and of course, only having a couple videos of you wrestling, it really you can tell what you're trying to do here, but like you're also not putting yourself in like crazy danger because you've got a lead and you're not doing something that could get caught or whatever.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm still trying to score, but I'm trying to use more high percentage moves, less risky moves.
Yeah. And there it is. Nice, nice, nice little slide by butt scoot. All right, so you kind of cut him there. You try a blast double right there, but I believe you take the worst end of it. I believe you take a shot to the southern abdominal region.
Yeah.
Putting it nicely. And if you've never been hit in the southern abdominals, it's not any fun.
This is actually the best thing to do if you ever do get hit there.
Oh yeah.
Just hop on your butt. You'll see me do it in a minute.
Yeah. You're like, oh Lord, I'm dying here. That's usually not a quick recovery there. There it is. Putting them back in place. Now, who's that in the suit that comes over to you?
That's Mark Hall, or Coach Hall.
Okay.
Jeff Hall. Yeah.
I got you. All right. So, and also, I think that may have been the end of the period because he comes to, Catan comes to Choate and asking for his choice, and he takes down. So I believe that was also the end of the third period there. I believe Catan took a tumble right there.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about
I have to make sure to include that when we tag him. Say, Catan, what we
that.
doing here, buddy? What we doing falling down again? All right. So not much yet. Not much yet. Right out of bounds. So, like we said earlier, you're wrestling hard, but you're really not wrestling dumb. You're wrestling very intelligent.
Try not to make any stupid mistakes.
Because there's a big difference between wrestling intelligently and wrestling dumb. I mean, and I'm speaking to the youngsters going to be watching this. Sometimes you got to know when to wrestle intelligently. That right there is how you sprawl, kids. Go back and watch that part over. That's how you sprawl right there. Nothing yet, nothing yet, nothing yet. Out of bounds. There it is. A little bit of action there in the circle. The Fern Creek crowd's asking for a takedown. And you say, okay, your wish is my command.
A little balance check.
Yep. Right there, you let him go. The crowd starts counting it down. You start kind of staying away from him. And there it is. 2,760-pound state champion. Very, very, very well wrestled match. So watching it back, of course, but besides you winning, does the action play out the way you remember it?
For the most part, I haven't seen that match in a while, but I remember some of the big takedowns, like the butt scoots and the blast double and the lace. So for the most part, yeah.
The shot to the southern
I remember
abdominals.
that too.
You never forget something like that, do you? Like, oh,
it was funny.
Lord.
It was funny seeing that part with Catan. I remember that now. I didn't remember that before.
Yeah, well, like I said, we'll have to make sure we tag him in when we do the video. So, man, excellent performance. You wrestled like somebody that had been there. Like we said earlier, you wrestled very intelligently. You didn't try. From the looks of the video, you stayed within your game plan. You didn't have to go out and try a bunch of crazy techniques that you weren't familiar with, or you didn't have to go overextend yourself, but you wrestled like you had been there before. Like you said, the champ's in the house, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So I think we've covered a lot of good ground in this video. Before we end it, you have anything you'd like to say or add to wrap this one up?
No, not really.
Well, all right. And before we go, I'll say, thank you to you and your dad for sending me the video. You had it on those little itty bitty mini DV tapes that are hard to find, and I was able to find somebody to convert it for us. And we just the way the universe had it, the place I went to had one mini DV converter, and when I got there, they checked it. They said, "Oh yeah, the tape we just converted is finished. We can start on yours." So it was a really good trip. One time had to go to Lexington to get it converted. and we were able to hop on it. We feel like we've been trying to get together for a year and a half or something now, or it feels that way anyway. So we've been messaging back and forth and Facebooking and all that, and so it's good that the world can finally see the mythological creature that is John Wolsiefer. Did I say that right?
That was good. Yeah.
All right. I'm learning. I'm learning as we go, man. Learning as we go. So now when I go places, like, no, Wolsiefer. Get it right. Put some respect on that mythological name, right?
It's funny.
Well, man, like I said, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. You've been highly requested, what you were able to do in your 2 years in the state finals still resonates with people. So that's a credit to you and your wrestling ability. But man, like I said, thank you for being here, man. Guys, that's all that we have. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on the mats.